just clicks.
Hey everyone, it's Mac from Mac Movie Reviews, and we are on the countdown to the MCU debut of the Fantastic Four. So I figured why not do this quick video as we're waiting for the new movie to come out. 2 years ago, I did a retrospective. I reviewed all of the adaptations we've had since the Corman movies all the way to the 2015 one that shall not be named, and it was a fun little video series I did. It was kind of like the first series, well, second series retrospective I did next to Fantastic Four, and it was just really fun to kind of go back through and see all of these like memories I've had with each one of these movies. And I figured why not kind of do what I did for the Fast and Furious at the end, where I did a big ranking video. And since there's only 4 movies to really go over, I can just make this a quick video. So yeah, these are the Fantastic Four movies we've had from worst to best. Let's get started. Shocking, we're starting with the worst, and that's 2015's Fan 4 Stick. It's still a running joke, we don't call this Fantastic Four, we just call it Fan 4 Stick. But yeah, this movie, 10 years later, it's not good. This is everything that's wrong with with your interpretation of Fantastic Four, and it's a shame because I like Josh Trank, I like Chronicle, but considering the fact that it was more entertaining to see all the behind-the-scenes drama with rewrites, reshoots, clashing visions, and just very inconsistency with his tone and a lot more reshoots, it was more entertaining to see about what was going on with this movie. Then when we finally got it, it was just a disaster. Now that's not saying like there's like everything in this film's bad. I will say that the tone for it, I got what they were gonna do. They were going for the Cronenberg body horror, because I'll say the best scene in this film is when they get their powers, when they go to the negative zone and they come back and they're all like messed up. It is very like horrifying, like this horror movie type thing. I think that's one of the best styles, because I think with Josh Trank, he has a good style with, you know, cinematography and definitely that Cronenberg style. Like, I think that if it nailed that aspect, that would have been fine. But the problem with this movie, Fan 4 Stick, is that there's nothing happening for its runtime. I think this movie clocks in like 2 hours and 15 minutes. There's just nothing happening, and it's so boring. It's so much talking, so much exposition. The action scenes we get aren't that lackluster. Keep in mind, a lot of stuff got cut. Like, if you go back from the trailers, the thing scene with the military, that's shown in like the background for background footage. Apparently the final fight with Dr. Doom, which we'll get into, is very cut down of what was going to happen. And the whole Dr. Doom thing, that wasn't even Dr. Doom. That was a damn crash test dummy. And, you know, I'm glad that, you know, the cast didn't take too much of a hit with this. You know, they all went on to do a good thing. Josh Trank, you know, his career kind of crashed and burned. You know, we had Capone, which we'll get to, don't worry. We'll do a review of Capone one of these days. But, you know, 10 years later, this is still like one of the worst Fantastic Four movies, or the worst Fantastic Four movie like ever. And considering what's coming next, the fact that this one got a theatrical release just blows my mind. Coming in at the second place with the second worst, which isn't as bad, that's the 1994 Roger Corman film, which is infamous because this is the movie that was never supposed to be released, because it was just supposed to be made for Fox to keep the rights to it, and it was never meant to see the light of day. And it did, and it's not good. If you know anything about the late Roger Corman, a lot of his movies were very low budget, but that was the charm of it. This one is very weird because it's not a good movie. Like, for its standards coming out in 1994, it's very like terrible with the graphics and the quality and everything. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is like a straight to TV movie. But the thing with this, it's weird because I'll bring it up in the other 2 films, which you'll probably guess which one's gonna come next and what's gonna be considered the best. It's that it feels like the most comic accurate, like with the suits, the power abilities, and just kind of the origin story. Like, this feels the most comic accurate Fantastic Four we've had to this point until we get the MCU movie in a few weeks. And it's fun. Like, I think even though they weren't making this to be released theatrically, there was a lot of care and compassion with this project. I think that the cast really did a great job as well too. Like, even like the directing, like, it's not the best, but it's still like there's some passion. Like, you can tell, like, this was the 90s, this was like 94, so the Fantastic Four series was still like red hot on Fox. So if people knew about this coming to theaters, this probably would have not done well, but the fact that this was just a rights retaining movie, you know, it's still goofy, it's campy, but it's like that fun comic book 90s camp. And I'd say if you can get your hands on this, give the 1994 Corman movie a watch. It's very interesting just to see what laid the groundwork for the other adaptations we have for the Fantastic Four. Yes, the sequel that had Galactus as a cloud. Yeah, 2007's Fantastic Four Silver Surfer. Now, this one is weird because I had to toss up between this and number one, which, you know, I think considering both of them, I there's a reason why I have the first one as number one, but we'll get to that. But Rise of Silver Surfer, I've rewatched this. Like, this has been out for about 18 years now, and it is just a fun sequel. I think what it did was that it leaned a little too hard into the humor aspect of everything. It made it a little bit more wacky, but at times it adds to the charm. And you gotta admit, like, having Lawrence Fishburne as the voice for Silver Surfer was awesome, and you got the great Doug Jones doing the motion capture as well too. I think introducing that iconic character that's tied to the Fantastic Four in your sequel was really good. Bringing back Julian McMahon as Doctor Doom was good as well too. But then what we're really excited for was Galactus, because I was like, oh crap, we got Galactus, we got the Fantastic Car, we got all these new like hints to everything we have for the comic books. And then, you know, infamously Galactus was a cloud, which I think Tim Story said that Galactus, like, they try to have hints in it. Like, there's scenes like near the end when the Silver Surfer was trying to he was destroying Galactus. You see like the crown helmets on it, and I think there's like theories that like the cloud was just a vehicle, like Galactus was actually inside of it, which I think they said they wanted to do in the third film that never happened. But I think it's still carried by the chemistry between Alba, Chiklis, Gruffudd, and Evans. I think that their chemistry is off the charts as the Fantastic Four, and that proves it in the second film as well. Like I mentioned before, it's just the humor. I feel like definitely amped it up a little bit, and it was very annoying. It's just a little too wacky, that 2000s comedy, but I think that the strong chemistry and just upping the stakes for everything really made it just a fun sequel. It is a shame that we never really got that third film to really close out their trilogy, but knowing the MCU now and seeing what we can do for multiverse and stuff, maybe there's a chance for them to kind of like end that chapter and say, this is our Fantastic Four and how we're going to go. But Rise of the Silver Surfer is only number 2, and I think we all know what number 1 is. At number 1, we got the 2005 Fantastic Four movie. Now, this may be saying this is the best, it's just a low-hanging fruit, but, you know, almost 20 years later, that this is a really fun film, and kind of everything I said about Silver Surfer, about his comedy and everything. The first one does have some comedy moments that do work and don't work, but it's just fun to see this cast interact. Like I mentioned, this cast has amazing chemistry. They feel like the Fantastic Four, and that's why like the new one with like the 2015 one we had, they didn't really have that chemistry because they didn't feel like the Fantastic Four. And even with the promotions we've seen for the new one coming out, it does feel like they have that chemistry, but it's gonna be hard to top the 2005's cast. You know, the late Julian McMahon as Doctor Doom, I know at the time was very controversial, just not, people were very divisive about it, but I think over the years people realized that he had a very unique Doctor Doom, and if we got that third movie, like I mentioned before, to flesh that out, one more movie, that would have been great as well too. But the movie's just fun. Like, as soon as they get their powers in their space station, it is legitimately like a fun Fantastic Four film, and it's that chemistry that helps carry it. The humor at time works. I think Chris Evans as Johnny Storm was a very good casting. I know he found his footing as Captain America, but I love the Johnny Storm. Michael Chiklis, I know at the time Stan Lee said that it was his favorite casting for a comic book character, and I think Chiklis carries that. Gruffudd as Mr. Fantastic was good as well, and Alba did a good job as like the Invisible Woman. And I just think that it is less with the action. Like, you get the action near the end with the final fight with Doctor Doom, and it doesn't really last that long, but it's still kind of a fun build-up and searing. And listen, say what you will, but 20 years later, that scene of the Thing coming into the wall and telling Victor it's clobbering time, it's like one of the most badass scenes of like the entire 2000s comic book movies. And it's a shame that I wish this team got to interact with like that iteration of the X-Men or even Spider-Man. But you know, we have what we have, and I think that for what we got, that this was the benchmark for the Fantastic Four like adaptations, and we'll see how the 2025 one does. But I'm gonna always say that the 2005 one is probably my favorite. We'll see how the MC one does as well. So yeah, all my friends are dead, push me to the edge. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this ranking video. Like I said, it's just a little quick video. The next video should be the review for the actual new Fantastic Four movie, which looks entertaining, looks interesting. I am curious to see what are y'all's like opinions, or how do you rank the Fantastic Four movies? Which one do you think is like your least favorite, and which one's your favorite? I'm curious. Let me know down in the comments below. Until next time, I've been Mac from Mac Movie Reviews, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. Hey, if you like this video, make sure you check out one of my other reviews on my channel, and stay tuned for the next one.